What's up, guys? Clutch Fan 30 Center. It is October 27th, and as many of you in the lacrosse community know, it is the release date of the ECD Mirage lacrosse head. It's been one of the most coveted and anticipated releases of 2016. It was pretty silent for the last 8 months or so, and then the last 2 weeks they really blown up social media with the Mirage. Teaser videos, teaser pictures, and things like that. But before we get into the head, I want to give a big shout out to East Coast Dyes for sending me a Mirage a week before they came out. It was very awesome, you guys. I appreciate it. Another cool thing they sent me is a piece of Hero Mesh that is unreleased, and I don't believe they will ever release it, or at least anytime soon. It's black with Carolina strikers. It's not dyed. It's strictly ECD Hero Mesh to a point. I did notice there was a couple people on Instagram who got JW1 mesh and would dye it different colors, which I think is pretty cool. But regardless, they released this and gave it to me. I don't think they'll ever release it. I kind of hope I'm wrong, because I'd love to see ECD do like a limited run of black with colored striker. I think that'd be pretty sweet, but we'll see how time goes. So the ECD Mirage is going to be priced at $89.99, which is very universally sound. It's priced perfectly for just about any budget for a lacrosse player. Besides the Mark 1, I think every head should be about $89 to $90 depending on durability, plastic use, and things like that. $90 is just a good price for a lacrosse head. Another cool thing that comes with the Mirage, instead of just the head itself, is it comes with this nifty little headstand, which I think is awesome for social media people. Those on Instagram like myself who like to show off dyes and string jobs. It's just really cool. You can also display heads around your house, in your room, wherever it may be, so that's awesome. It says Mirage on the front, ECD Lacrosse on the sides. On the back has the description of the Mirage and how they fine-tuned it with 3D printing to make it able to build the perfect pocket and perfect for the elite offensive player. One thing I wish they would have changed is just the elite player. I understand their main focus was offensive players with this, but after using it in the face shape, I think Defender or LSM could definitely use this and have a good time with it and be able to really dominate the field with this head. So getting to the aesthetics of the head, I really like this a lot. There's too much stuff going on with some companies where they have a stamp with their logo name up here, the head name down the side, company name, made in the USA, and all these gimmicky stuff that makes it look futuristic. I'm not a fan of that. I like more simplistic and clean things, and that's exactly what this is. On the back here, it says made in the USA. On the front, it has an ECD crab on it, but it's not a jewel or like a stamp or anything. It's just part of the head, which I think is great. And on the fronts right here, it says Mirage on both sides, which is very simplistic and very easy to go through. Other than that, the shape of it reminds me a lot of a Houdini or a Voice, simply because you get the offset here, it drops down, and since there, it just is very straightforward. I like that a lot. Some people don't like that, but I like it a lot. It has a nice feel. Even if you have a high pocket in this thing, it's going to feel natural, and it has a, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's one of those things where you have to feel it to understand, but I really like the feel of it. Some people say it looks like the CEO and the Wolf Athletics Recon, which I agree with the Recon but not the CEO, because CEO is very just straightforward until here and then juts out. But here's a Recon head for you guys to kind of look and compare. You can see the face shape is very similar. Sidewall design, not necessarily, maybe a little bit, but it is what it is. So definitely like the Mirage a bit more than the Recon, but that'll be a different video. Getting to the string ability of this head, it's got 6 sidewall or top holes up here, which is great. That's what most heads come standard with now, so you can do all kinds of different pockets with it. 18 sidewall holes going down the sides, and then the throat has 4 holes, of course, as most heads. And they're wide enough for leathers to go through very snugly, which is very nice. Adds a little bit of versatility to string ability to it. Dislikes of the top holes is the shape, how they're very rectangular. I like it, but at the same time, if you look closely, you'll see this side is pulled to the left as well as this side. I wish it would have had a more, I don't know, I guess aggressive shape to where the sidewall holes would be in the middle. But at the same time, I only used 2 strings for these. If you use 3 for a triangle top, or even hero strings to the top, it should match up very nicely. You can easily fit, I'd say, at least 3 very snugly with hero strings, maybe 4, but normal sidewall, you can definitely get 4 through these easily, which is great. The top 3 holes are very long and big, which I like a lot. I like to double wrap my sidewalls just for looks as well as performance-wise. You don't want those coming loose or undone. So the first three are very wide, which I like a lot. The shape of the sidewall holes is very consistent throughout. It's kind of an oval, which I really enjoy. You can definitely fit 2 sidewall strings through a hole, if that's your thing. It was mine for a while, but not something like this. The holes are very nicely placed. Here, strings fit through them perfectly, and you can definitely get 2, especially right here if you want to do a double stack nylon. So string ability wise, I was able to put a defined high pocket, defined mid pocket, defined low pocket in it very effortlessly, as well as my signature pocket that I call the CF37. It matched up almost perfectly with my command pattern. I did have to change one thing down here, but it matched up very nicely. So string ability wise is awesome. Durability wise, similar to most heads nowadays, the front part is a bit more flexible, while the back rails are a bit more stiff. That being, the back rails are a lot thicker as opposed to the front rails. I really don't see a problem with that durability wise. Maybe if you use one of these consistently in like the summer heat for a while, it may pinch like this, to where the outside's a bit wider and the inside's a bit more pinched like an original clutch, but not too worried about it. So overall, I think the ECD Mirage is one of the better heads in the market at the price point. They've spent a lot of time messing around with it. I remember at LaxCon in January, I saw the original 3D printed model, and it was pretty cool. There's a lot of things I would have changed, and they changed most of those things that I think a lot of people are going to be pleased with. So like I was saying, it's great for attackmen and middies. Defenders and LSMs could definitely get away with using it. You might be better getting something a little stiffer, but overall it's pretty good. One thing I did notice as well I didn't touch on is the scoop. When you first get out of the box, it feels almost like it's pushed a lot forward in the head, almost like that, which I personally don't really mind. I did think it was a little janky at first until I strung it up, but some people who may be like me who go into a store looking for a head and they see that may be a little turned off by it, but me personally, once you string it up, I think it's great. I don't know if it's the way I strung it or if it's the actual scoop itself and design, but I did feel a bit more snap to it, or I guess a bit more of a aggressive feel coming out of the pocket. Maybe the pocket, maybe the scoop, I'm not quite sure yet, but I like it a lot. I think this is going to be one of the better selling heads out there, not only because ECD has quite the following, but also because once you start seeing more reviews of this, I think you're going to get a lot more people's opinions and realize that it's one of the better heads out there for your money. They spent a lot of time making this head and putting a lot of money developing it, and it came out really great. I think it's probably one of the best stabs at a first head they've produced, and they could have produced, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future. Downsides, I really don't have a whole lot to it. The throat itself is kind of beefy here in the front with that big X, but I'm not too worried about it. Another cool thing, or I guess the thing that I maybe would have changed, is right here. Maybe if they added like a little lip for your hand where you're cradling one-handed, like some companies do. But that's just something that maybe I personally would have changed, but obviously they know what they're doing. So that's my review of the Mirage, guys. Hope you enjoy. The dye job is just like a 5 or 6 color dye job. One side's got white, orange, and yellow flowers. The other's got pink, neon green, and white. I had to do side by side. And then this side's a bit lighter blue, this side's a bit darker blue. So I think it came out pretty cool. I'll post a pattern in the description for you guys, but like I said, these are available today. I highly suggest checking one out and even picking one up if you're interested. I'm sure these will fly off the shelf, so if you're on the fence about it, I would say just go for it and buy it, and then make your decision afterwards if you made a good purchase or not. So $89.99, made by East Coast Dyes, comes with this awesome little headstand, and overall I think it's great for any position, specifically attackmans and middies. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoy. Check out 50calmesh.bigartel.com down below to pick up any dyed heads or strung heads. Coming here in November, I will have a lot more up on the website, so stay tuned for that.